who gets my humor, good with me. Anyway, I really am honored. The thing about Lisa is she shows up to everything. She's at every event. And talk about sleep deprived. I wonder if you are, because all of the events that are going on this week, and there are many, Lisa is like, how did you get here, Lisa, to this event? I just saw you at that event. So she's going to give us a little warm welcome. I have a TRiO pin for you and a TRiO Works button. Let's hear it from Lisa.
Thank you, Shelley. How many of you know Shelley really well? Some of you. How many of you don't know Shelley yet? Oh, just wait. She is funny. So, on behalf of everyone at North Hennepin Community College, welcome. And you are going to have a fantastic experience and a fantastic year and great success. And Shelley has been working with TRiO for a number of years. She knows what it means to be a student. She knows what it takes to be successful. She has a great team working with her. And she is absolutely your best advocate. Yes, just yes, you know. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to walk away so ready to go out there and be successful and reach your goals. And we hope that you continue to come back and tell your stories and share your stories with future students. And I'm just so excited for your year. So welcome, and you're going to have a great evening.
Thank you, Lisa. Our next person that's going to welcome us is another longtime advocate of our program. And she believes in us, she believes in me, and most of all, she believes in you. So it is our Vice President of Academic Affairs. I'm going to have Jane Ranke come up. Give her a warm welcome. Of applause. A round of applause.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My grandfather, when I was real young, said to me, your education is your life insurance policy. That is something that no one, no matter what, can take away from you. And he was a fellow that never finished the 8th grade. He was a farmer, but he made sure that everybody in his family, his kids, his grandkids, and his great-grandkids, before he went on to the Never Land, got to an education. We are so excited that you are all here. There's so many of you who are new this year. We are excited you're part of our campus. You're going to really enjoy being part of the TRiO program and part of North Hennepin. Those of you who are returning, we are glad to see you back. We know you're going to also have a great year. There's going to be times when you reach that point where you say, I just can't do this anymore. And we're going to be there saying, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because you can. We know you can. TRiO is set up that there's so many great supports for you. You have so many great people in the program that are there for you. Be sure that you don't hide off in your corner, but come forward and take advantage of everything that we have here for you. Because we know that you can be successful, and we can't wait to hear your success stories when you come back. Tonight you're going to hear a lot of those stories, and we're excited about those folks coming to share with you, because their journey was similar to yours as you come through this year and the next few years. So welcome, we're excited for tonight and this year. So good luck and have a good dinner.
Thank you, Jane. Next, we have another person that wants to welcome you, a special person who some of you who've been around for a while may remember. This is a person who's dear to me and inspires me, and I'm sure he's going to inspire you. And he's somebody who everyone in this room, if you're a student, should get to know. He is a valuable, valuable resource on campus. And I don't know where I'd be without him. So I'm going to introduce our Chief Diversity and Affirmative Action Officer, Michael Burchard.
I'll be somewhat brief. But I was just reminded of a story. When I got hired here 15 years ago, I started in the TRiO program. So I worked in TRiO for 14 years. And I'm a huge advocate. I support TRiO. I still provide money to the scholarship fund. I am a huge supporter. I call my legislators and I let them know how important TRiO funding is for our students, our low-income and first generation students, and students with disabilities. But when I got hired at North Hennepin, it was 15 years ago, Shelley hired me, and we were walking around campus and she was introducing me. And when they were bringing me around, she brought me to one office, and the woman, we walked into the office, the woman goes, "Oh, Shelley, is that your son?" and no, I'm not her son, she's not my mom, but she's my mom, right? Like, we look at Shelley like she's our mom, and she helps us. And that's same with Alice, that's same with Denise, that's same with Tiffany, and the whole group is just so supportive, and they help us out, and we all become like a family. And that's what's important here at the college. It's not just this TRiO family, but it becomes greater than that. That we become like this cohesive community that really supports each other, that really encourages each other's success. And that's so important. And for 15 years, she's been my mom and my other mom in the back of the room, Alice, wherever she is right now. Amazing, amazing, wonderful people. And even though I left the TRiO office, we still have a great bond between the two programs, because both of our missions are the same, for your success as students here at North Hennepin. And so whatever we can do to make sure that you're successful, we will do it. If it means tutoring, we'll get you tutors. If it means a support group, we'll get you the support. If it means walking and bringing you to the teachers to have conversations and helping you find those resources, we will. Scholarships, careers, whatever it is, TRiO will be there for you, and North Hennepin will be there for you. So thank you all. Thank you all very much for being here and being a part of the TRiO program. Thanks.
Thank you, son. Do your homework. Don't forget, get to bed soon. We have a couple hours and no TV tonight. I just want to say thank you to the peer advisors for this evening. I want to say thank you to them for helping out, being there, peer mentors. Thank you for just jumping in. And I think what we're going to do is, I have a joke while we're waiting. I'm not a very good joke teller. So this is the only joke I know, and I am sorry if I offend anyone, because inevitably if you tell a joke, you're going to offend someone. So I apologize in advance. So are there any Norwegians in the room? I apologize to the Norwegians. So the Norwegian farmer said to his wife, he said, did you hear? Okay, here's how it goes. Did you hear about the Norwegian farmer who loved his wife so much, he almost told her? I know, it was really bad. Next is a very exciting portion of our evening. I have asked, before we hear from our TRiO achievers, that I've asked two students to talk. And the two students that I asked to talk are kind of the epitome of involvement on campus. They come around and, like you heard earlier, I think Odway said, the president knows my name, the vice president knows my name. Well, I think these two gentlemen that you're going to hear from are equally in that camp. And I'm first going to call on Awale to come forward. And I just asked him to say a few words, relatively short, keeping it brief. Keeping it brief. He's going to talk to you a little bit about his experience here at North Hennepin. So, welcome, Wally.
How's everybody doing? How many of you know me? Okay, looks like many of you don't know me. So I have to introduce myself. I know Shelley has asked me to come and talk about my involvement on campus, what kind of got me interested in being involved, and I will. But before I do that, I wanted to talk about a few important things, mainly my involvement with TRiO programs. I'm Somalian. How many of you guys heard about the Civil War of Somalia? Okay, no background necessary. I was born in 1992, and that was right around the time where we had the Civil War brewing, started in 1990. So that meant we had to move out of the country, try to find a safe place. We eventually ended up in Kenya, which is where I was born, and then migrated to America in 2004 after a long immigration process. I started school for the first time at the Newcomer Center at John Adams in 6th grade. Since then, I have worked my way up from newcomers to mainstream to honors to BSCO, which is the post-secondary enrollment option. And just this spring, I graduated with the highest honors in North Hennepin Community College. I share that with you because it's a testament to my hard work. But it also reminds me that when I first started learning English, when I first enrolled in school, my biggest obstacle was learning the language. And believe me, a lot of you may not know what it feels like to not speak another language in another country. For the first time, I felt like I was an idiot, that I didn't know anything, that I was confused all the time, that I was in classes where often the teachers were lecturing and I didn't understand what they were talking about. Why, in my first couple of years, I didn't do so well in school. It didn't feel good getting house. It didn't feel good not understanding anything. But then, in my 8th grade, I had a turn of luck. My ESOL teachers were, of course, always there to help me. And I took advantage of every opportunity if it meant going to tutors during lunch, going to tutoring after school, or going to tutoring during the weekends. But my life changed when my ESOL teacher told me about the opportunities that Upper Bound offered. And she gave me an application and a recommendation to be part of the Upper Bound program. In my first time I applied, I wasn't accepted. And at the time, of course, I was pretty used to rejections. I was on the waiting list. And of course, it became a distant memory. And then right about my 2nd semester in 9th grade, I got a call and I was told, you will be part of Upper Bound. And of course, at the time, I didn't know what that meant, because I was still new to the country, new to the language, new to going to school for the first time, and I was struggling. When I say struggling, I couldn't think of having the grades that I have today, or doing as well as I do, or be even articulate as I am today. Anyways, of course I took the opportunity. I joined Upper Bound. I was there during after-school tutoring. I was there going to the field trips in college. But the thing is, at the time, I couldn't even imagine graduating from high school, let alone graduating from college, or even entering college. But then that is the magic of TRiO. Not only did they provide me with support to be successful in my academic classes, whether that meant being there during the weekend, I couldn't believe that they even opened their doors during Saturdays for us to come in, whether it meant having that extra support after school, or whether it meant going to those workshops, study skills, or having that constant supporter pushing you along the way to pull through any of the obstacles that are along the way. Since then, of course, I have excelled in my classes in a short amount of time because of the extra support that I was receiving outside of school. And then things started changing. All of a sudden, it wasn't about just taking the regular classes, but it was about taking the honors options. And those things weren't part of my vision of where I would be today. And that journey has been made possible because of TRiO. I've been part of TRiO in Upper Bound. I've been part of TRiO as an SS TRiO, which is you're part of. And I've just been recently accepted into the McNair program, which is going to be preparing me for graduate school now. But then also TRiO had another effect on me, and that was involvement in organizations. And of course you have to remember, at the time I was barely doing well in my classes, I was barely communicating well with others. But yet, in my 9th grade year, my TRiO advisor was like, why? Well, they're auditioning or they're accepting applications for student government. You should be part of that. I'm like, me? What do you see in me? Last thing that I thought of myself was as a leader. Anyways, I joined, and of course, my first year, I spent mostly watching at the meetings, watching all the activities that they were organizing for our students, all the fundraisers that they did, and that was actually fun. To me, that was fun. And then I started being even more involved. We started in First International Club, which I really enjoyed. And then I started becoming part of Boys and Girls Club, which was another part of my family. It was provided much like the support that TRiO offered me. Anyways, those opportunities offered more ways to get involved. And every weekends, I was volunteering in some major cause, or I was cheering on runners who were raising money for cancer. Those activities were fun to me. And then I came here to North Hennepin Community College when my family moved to Brooklyn Park. But then at that time, I was really kind of got into the whole involvement thingy, so I was highly involved in the community. Jordan Jones is another amazing student leader on campus. And during my first year, I didn't really have a lot of interest of being part of student organizations on campus. So this guy named Jordan Jones would stalk me. Because he was actually pushing everybody to come to the African American Student Association meeting, to be part of involvement on campus, to do things to support all students. And of course, at the time I was thinking, student organization with no funding, please, what are we going to accomplish? Have more meetings? That was supposed to be funny, guys. He was so persistent, he got me involved with the African American Student Association, and he sold me with that invigoration again, of being involved, of being along, of doing things to benefit your community. And since then, I've been part of many campus committees. I've been part of making a lot of events happen on campus. But you know what? My proudest moment wasn't even participating in the effort to bring Dr. Jill Biden, Vice President's wife, Mr. Joel Biden. It was called creating the Women's Building Community Support Program on campus, which I helped start with the African Student Association. The goal of that award was to recognize the contributions and leadership of extraordinary women in our community. And of course, at the time when we were thinking about the award, all I could think about was Shelley. Shelley, I know Michael talked about earlier, but she's our mother. She is beyond our mother. She's my advocate. She's the person that saw things in me that I never saw. She was the person that when I thought I was so busy to do anything, would remind me that applying for scholarships was not only important, a priority. And because of her support and advocacy and push, I have been awarded over $38,000 in scholarships. I'm proud to be continuing my education at Oxford College, and many of my accomplishments, although they're a testament to my own hard work, but it's also a reflection of the support that the TRiO programs have provided me. And without a doubt, do I even second guess that TRiO has made a significant difference in my life, because they have changed the trajectory of my life and have made me envision myself in greater positions than I ever thought that I would, and have even bigger goals that I could strive for. And I have TRiO, and more importantly, Shelley, to thank for that. Thank you.
I didn't ask you to speak about that, Wally, but I am really moved. Thank you so much. I know TRiO makes a difference in people's lives. It made a difference in my life because I was a TRiO student one time. And so I have my mentors to thank, and I even though Wally thinks it's like me, I get that, but it's the ability of this someone else's vision that came before us, you know, in the civil rights movement, where it came from, where we were born from. And so I'm proud to be carrying on a legacy from before. And I thank you so much for saying those beautiful words, but It's been my true pleasure to watch all of my students blossom.
You ever had to do a presentation in class and you weren't nervous until you went to the front and had to stand? That's how I feel right now, so bear with me a little bit. I'd say I'm just a normal guy. I was born in Los Angeles, California. Yeah! I moved here when I was 16, and I started school at Champlain Park High School. Went there 9th and 10th grade. My grades were bad, but I didn't even care. I was just like, whatever, you know, I was just sliding around each class. And then some random, I still to this day don't know who it was, some random staff person that worked there stopped and told me, they was like, well, what do you want, Tyler? What do you want? You know, you're doing bad in this class and that class. What do you want out of life? Do you want to, you know, graduate one day? And I was thinking like, oh, yeah, I guess I want to do that. It'd be nice to have a graduation cap and things like that. He was like, well, you're going to have to turn it around. So then I took it serious. So then I started putting forth extra effort. So then you look at 11th and 12th grade in high school, and it's like all A's and B's. And every time, every time that someone looks at my transcript, they ask, well, what happened right here? It was like, what happened in 9th and 10th grade? And it's because I changed the way I thought about things. And, you know, so I ended up graduating from high school, being the first one to do it out of my family. And to come to North Hennepin, and someone mentioned to me TRiO. It was like, you should get into TRiO. And I'm like, what is that, like a group of 3 people? Like, what is that? And I wasn't, because even in high school, I didn't get involved in any type of groups or anything like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm in college, I guess I'll go ahead and do it. And I ended up getting into TRiO. And when you're in TRiO, you have special opportunities. You can, you know, apply for certain scholarships that other people can't. So there was a scholarship to go to Spain for a month, you know, something crazy like that. At least it was crazy to me at the time. And Shelly kept, you know, she was like, you should apply for this, you should apply for this. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do it. I had like 4 essays to do in other classes, plus I had a job. I was a cashier doing all those other things. And, you know, 2 weeks later, she checked with me, did you get started on that 1 essay for Spain? I'm like, oh, I'm getting around to it. And she kept pushing me to the point where it's like, you know what, I was at work and on receipt paper, I just started maybe writing what the essay was supposed to be about and working on my thesis statement and things like that. Next thing you know, I put it together. And then, you know, I gave it to, I just did it because Shelly kept bothering me. And I was so glad that she pushed me because I think just like Wally, she saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And I just wrote, you know, typed it up, gave it to her, and she sent it in. I forgot about it. You know, the best surprise is when you forget about something and then all of a sudden pops up. I forgot about it, and then it was like, you're going to Spain! And I'm like, what? You know, and this was my first year at college, so this is just like, just crazy to me. And my mom was all going crazy, saying, you're going out of the country, because no one in my family has ever been out of the country either. And so I did go to Spain for a month, and on top of that, we got to go to Paris too, and see the Eiffel Tower and things like that. And this is all my first year at college, so I'm thinking like, wow, imagine if I didn't go at all, and I would have took a couple years off or something. And so this was all the first year, and then when I got back, you know, when I got back from Spain, I'm just sitting there in the living room, like in my living room, and I'm just thinking like, wow, she pushed me to do that. Because if she would have just left me alone and just let me be, that wouldn't have happened. And so I'm thankful for like TRiO advisors, because not only was it her, it was also, you know, Alex, and at the time it was Michael too. And they looked over my essay and made sure everything was okay. And that's the thing, they sort of, you have like a sort of a support system, like you're not alone. It's almost like you're a celebrity and you have people who are around you that sort of, you know, that sort of support you. I think that, you know, when someone tells you you're a TRiO student, you know that that's more than just that's better than the average student, I think, is that you have an actual support system. You have, you know, you have tutors, you have resources that you can utilize that, you know, everyone else in the school can't really utilize. There's people still trying to get into TRiO, so I just feel, you know, blessed to be part of a group called TRiO and be able to have this support system and to get me where I'm at today. So, thank you.
Well, there's a scholarship coming up pretty soon. So just remember when I said you have to check your email? I meant it. Just saying. Thank you, thank you, Tylen. Next, we're going to hear from our very special achievers. This is the award that we give each year to people who came a few years ago, sat in a room like this, very similar to tonight, and we're going to start their classes in the fall. And we're scared, like some of you are, and anticipating what to come and nervous. And then they went on and they finished their degrees here, and then they transferred to their four-year school and they finished their degrees, and now they're working in their field. So we honor them because they set their goals and they accomplished their goals. So we're going to honor them tonight. And so we have awards for them. Our first recipient is Ryan Sharp. And we have a plaque for Ryan, and it just says, Student Support Services TRiO Achiever Award, North Hennepin Community College, presented to Ryan Sharp this 22nd day of August, 2013 for exemplary professional accomplishment. Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Ryan Sharp. I received my Bachelor's of Science degree from Northern Arizona University in 2010. My degree is in Parks and Recreation Management with an emphasis on the commercial side of the business. Prior to my studies at Northern Arizona, I received my associate's degree from North Hennepin Community College. Currently, I am working for Three Rivers Park District on the operations side of the business at Eagle Lake Golf Course. I've also worked at Elm Creek Park Reserve on the customer side of the business. During the school year, I also serve as an after-school instructor for the Maple Grove Park and Recreation school age program. So when I was a new student at North Hennepin, some of the obstacles that I faced were being new to the college campus and the expectations of college students, which required more independence. In college, I had to learn to manage my own time rather than school schedule that I had to follow in high school. In high school, teachers built relationships with their students and supported their successes. In college, professors expected students to figure it out and seek out support when they needed it. At North Hennepin, Student Support Services TRiO was a real help. We completed the same classes our first year as a group, which built relationships, study groups from the start. They helped us with our schedules and provided guidance with professors during the year. With the staff at SSS TRiO also were there if we had issues with our classes, as well as provided someone to talk to if we had questions. We went on road trips as a group and had a great time together. We built relationships even more. During my second year with SSS TRiO, they offered a number of local college visits as a group, which provided insight to the next step. And most importantly, if you plan on continuing after North Hennepin, Shelley, Alice, and Michael will help you make sure your credits transfer. In my case, 100% of those transfer. So don't be afraid to ask questions, be yourself, and have a great year at North Hennepin.
We are very proud of you, Ryan. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing your story. Before I introduce our next speaker, I just wanted to say that, did anybody know that the 3 people on the cover of this recent magazine are all TRiO students? Yeah. Yay! Our next award goes to a very special woman. She was in our program and we just fell in love with her. And then the next thing we knew, she was actually working as a professional at our college. So I would like to present our next award to Ms. Michelle Good.
Thanks, Mama.
And her award says the same thing, but it says Michelle Good instead of Ryan Sharp.
Well, hello, everybody, and I just want to say I'm really honored to be here today, and I just want to thank everyone also for allowing me to share a bit on how I got here. So, how I got here, it wasn't the conventional way, but I think that some people in this room may be able to relate to that. You know, I wasn't born in this country. I grew up in Frogtown, so if anyone's familiar with that area, yeah, okay, St. Paul, you can conclude that my parents didn't have a lot of money based on that neighborhood. I didn't attend college straight out of high school because actually I had a child while I was in high school. And on top of that, no one in my family ever received a college degree. So no, there was no college plan or no college fund. What I did have, however, was drive. I wanted more for myself, and I wanted more for my son, and I wanted more for my family, and I wanted to set a new standard for future generations in my family. I knew that others had more, so I knew it was attainable. And I believed that despite the obstacles, that I could have more. So I took action. Yet, life, more often than not, takes us on unexpected detours. For me, the original plan was to finish high school early, so I could take college credits for free during my junior and senior years. But I got pregnant, and I was ashamed of myself, and I shamed my family, and I ended up moving out, on my own with my son, and I'm not ashamed of my son though. What I did though was I finished high school. I still finished high school early, and I went to work so I could raise my child. And I worked really, really hard. And it wasn't glamorous, but it wasn't all bad either. I cleaned hotel rooms and apartments and businesses. I held restaurant jobs and retail jobs and office jobs. Eventually though, I worked for prestigious law firms. I was a legal secretary. And I also worked within the music industry, and I met some famous people, so that was fun. All the while, I volunteered at my son's school and the community center as a teen parent mentor. There were also times when I would eat ramen noodles all week. I would skip a few monthly bills here and there just to make ends meet, And I went lengths without a car, and during the winter months. I mean, seriously, my son's stroller, I would have to go to the grocery store in the snow with the stroller, put the seat all the way back, put a bag of groceries. My son was propped up in the bag of groceries. And he was in the back. Yeah, did that. Okay. But you know what? Later down the road, I learned how to budget. I saved for a dependable car, and I bought a decent house. And point being is that hard work and sacrifice and search for knowledge, even though it's informal education, is purposeful, and it pays off in many forms. I did what I had to do at the time, and along the way, whether I knew it or not, I was gaining new skills and competence and confidence. I was being exposed to different people and cultures and learning how to interact with different types of people. I was learning lessons in humility as well as my worth. I was understanding the importance of giving back, even if I didn't have that much to give. And I was receiving stepping stones for what was to come in the unknown future. It wasn't until my son's senior year in high school that I was laid off. It was the first time I was without a job since I was 16. I was now 34, and the country was in a recession. And I decided it was time to pursue my college goal in formal learning because I didn't want that holding me back. You know, we have obstacles enough. You know, we're, already on the bottom of the totem pole sometimes, and I didn't want anybody to give an excuse to say, you know what, well, you don't have that college degree, so we can't give that to you. I didn't want that to be an excuse. I looked into North Hennepin because I knew I couldn't be without work for long. I had to work. I wanted a college that was nearby. It had to be affordable. It had to be flexible with my work schedule. It had to be credible. And it also had to offer a degree that I was actually interested in pursuing. I also learned about TRiO and qualified as a first-generation student, and probably low income too, since I was laid off at the time. What they had to offer worked out for me, so I enrolled as a part-time student. My advisor was Mama Alice, and she was incredible, you guys, she really was. And she helped me decide on and craft my individualized AS degree, which had an emphasis in multimedia communications, which was based on my past work experiences as well as my future interests. Alice also helped me to determine that I would only need 2 classes to complete the AA degree, so I polished that up too. And the reason why I did that is because I knew that even if I didn't know what 4-year degree I wanted, I knew that would fully transfer, and it did. During my time as a student, I took full advantage of TRiO's math tutors. Denise was in here earlier. I needed a math tutor. And I also took advantage of early registration for classes, because TRiO students can register for classes first. Scholarship writing workshops, do those and apply for those scholarships. And I attended some fun events, and I was a busy working woman going to school, but I made time to attend events. Not all of them, that wasn't realistic, but I found time to do some of those things. While a student, I was looking for job opportunities actually at the college, and it just so happened that a permanent communication specialist position was open, and you know what, I just went for it. I put in an application, went for it, and I got the job. Yeah. One of the things that I love about my job is, as a communications specialist, I'm a writer. So I got written speech in front of me and not memorized. I'm used to being behind the scenes and I'm nervous, but I got to write that cover story about a Wally, and that was fantastic. You heard the other gentleman that was up here too, Tyler, and I got to write about him and his trip to Spain. So when you get a chance, pick up those magazines and read them. And it's really amazing, the magic that happens in this college. So I was working here, I was going to school here, I graduated here with 2 degrees in 2010, and actually I was the first honors student to graduate from North Hennepin. Since I had my momentum going, I decided to transfer right away. I transferred to Concordia University, and as an NHCC student, I was automatically awarded a $2,000 scholarship. So any NHCC student who goes to Concordia, they get $2,000 boom. So I I received a bachelor's in marketing and innovation management in 2012. For Concordia, I was able to go full time. I also graduated with high honors there. The program was really great because it allowed me to finish fast and attend classes online in the evenings once a week. So I was a full-time student and working full-time. And I was with the same small group of students from start to finish. So I was able to finish in 15 months. Currently, I'm actually looking for a master's program, hopefully in international business. I see all of these diverse students here, and that's a real, interest of mine. So, perhaps I'll even continue my educational journey and become the first doctor in my family. I think Dr. Good or Dr. Dr. Good sounds good. As an employee at North Hennepin, I'm also grooming my leadership skills by participating in professional development opportunities and serving on committees. And I think that these will bring brand new ventures for me. As new students present here today, you already set a major life goal and now put it into action. If you persist in college, then it's not a matter of if you're going to succeed or how you're going to get there. It's only a matter of when. It's going to happen. So along the way, I just want to urge you to take full advantage of the resources that NHCC and TRiO have to offer you. Embrace the people that you're going to meet and participate in things that interest you. And you know what? And congratulations in advance on becoming an alumni of North Hennepin Community College. I hope I'm not calling you Daddy.
That was inspiring. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. I just want to take a moment to reflect on one of our former students. On your program, you'll see on the front cover, we lost one of our TRiO champions this year unexpectedly, and it was really tragic. Felicia Stewart-Daniels was one of those leader type people, and those of us who knew her were shocked when we heard the word that she died suddenly, and it was just really sad. So just take a minute to think about Felicia. She was a positive force. She just had so much, she had such a gift for just being positive. She was such a positive person. So we honored her on our program, and if you knew her, you know what I'm talking about. So just a second to think about her and honor our Felicia.